Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Subhadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Vidapadakammalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitam Sya Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabano Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhe Shatrapa Sindhu Bevacha Patidanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishaya Budale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prajarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shiksharthameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradhari Kripam Pudiryas Pramadam Pravadye Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Surupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hari Om Tat Sat Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 23. Srimad Bhagavatam is a narration dealing with the Swarupa form of the Lord, which is manifested by his internal potency. This potency is distinguished from the external potency, which has manifested the cosmic world with our experience. Srila Vyasadeva makes a clear distinction between the internal and external potencies in the very first verse of this first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. In that verse, he says that the internal potency is factual reality, whereas the external manifested energy is the form of material existence, is temporary and illusory, no more real than a mirage in the desert. This is referring to the first verse of the first canto of the first chapter. Janmadi esya yatha idaradas charteshu abhitneshwarat. So here Vyasadeva distinguishes the internal and external potency. The internal potency is the Supreme Lord's energy by which all the spiritual world is created. The external potency is the potency by which the material world is created. Okay, and he further says that the material world, the product of the external energy, is somewhat like mirage in the desert. Why? It is temporary. So when we go in a hot summer, we see water on the road. As you approach us, you will not see that water is not there. Actually, it's an illusion. It's unreal. There is no water, but we feel that there is water. Similarly, in this material world, we feel that we are enjoying. Okay, this is permanent. It is for us to enjoy for a long, long time. But unfortunately, this is temporary. This will get unmanifested again. Okay, this is not eternal. That's why Vyasadeva is telling that this is temporary. It is just unreal. Unreal in the sense, it is just a thought that we are going to be here permanently and we are going to enjoy permanently and we are this body. So this sort of thinking is unreal. No, we are not here permanently. Our body is not permanent. We are not going to enjoy permanently in this material world. This is temporary. So that's why he's differentiating the external and internal energy. Internal energy is eternal and external energy is temporary. That's why Vyasadeva is comparing this to a mirage in the desert. It's just an illusion. Water may appear present in a mirage, but real water is somewhere else. Similarly, the manifested cosmic creation appears to be a reality, but simply a reflection of the true reality, which exists in the spiritual world. So this is a perverted reflection of this spiritual world. Spiritual world is eternal, it is permanent, and the material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world, which is temporary and which gets destroyed over a period of time. So that's the difference. So it is a reflection. If you go on, onto the bank of a river, the trees on the bank of the river gets reflected in the water, isn't it? In Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna says, okay, Urdham Moolam Adhashakam Ashchatam Prahurabhyam Chandamsi Asya Parnani Yastam Vedasa Vedavit. Okay, Urdha Moolam Adhashakam. Urdhva means what? Ups. Moola means the root. Adha Shakam. Adha means down. Shaka means the branches. So on the bank of the river, the tree, the Ashwata, the banyan tree gets reflected. How? The root up and the branches are down. It's a perverted reflection. Is it real? It's not real. Similarly, the material world is also a reflection of the spiritual world. That's why Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it is just like the banyan tree that has root upward and the branches downward. So the truth is that the eternal world is the spiritual world and temporary world is the material world. But unfortunately, we take this as a permanent residence for us, whereby we think that we can enjoy eternally in this material world. So that is an illusion. That's what Vyasadeva is explaining in the first verse itself of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. So absolute truth is there. It is not here in the material world. Here everything is relative truth. What is relative truth? With one apparent truth depending upon another. So that's why it is relative. It's not absolute. So the truth, it depends upon various factors. It's relative. For example, happiness. Okay, my happiness need not be your happiness, and your happiness need not be my happiness. Similarly, the sorrow, anything for that matter, in this material world, it is relative. Your circumstances, your situation, your condition may differ from mine. Accordingly to your happiness, your distress, your hatred, your love, everything, changes. So that's why it is called relative. Okay, it is depending upon another. This cosmic creation results from an interaction of the three modes of material nature. So this cosmic creation, how it happens? From the interaction of the three modes of material nature. That is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. When the mode of goodness, Sattva, interacts with this material world, with false ego, for example. False ego interacts with the mode of goodness, what is created mind. Okay, when the false ego interacts with the mode of passion, senses are created. So like that, this material world is an interaction of three modes of material nature. So from false ego, the subsequent elements comes. Which are those? The five gross elements. Five gross elements. First comes the false ego, and from false ego comes the five gross elements, and five gross elements comes the senses. From senses comes sense objects. Like that it is. The creation is done like that. So the cosmic creation results from an interaction of the three modes of material nature. The temporary manifestations are so created as to present an illusion of reality to the bewildered mind of the conditioned soul, who appears in so many species of life, including higher demigods like Brahma, Indra, Chandra, and so on. So the material world is created in such a way that everyone will think that this is permanent and it's for our enjoyment, and we are here eternally in this material world. The conditioned soul thinks that in that way. So that's the perspective of thinking by the conditioned soul. But in fact, it is not so. It is temporary. It's just a perverted reflection of that original world in the spiritual sky. So the conditioned soul comes in different species, including the demigods like Brahma, Indra, Chandra, and so on and so forth. In fact, there is no reality in the manifested world, but there appears to be reality because of the true reality in the spiritual world. So the reality is in the spiritual world, but it appears that the reality is also in this material world because of the true reality in the spiritual world, where the personality of God eternally resides with its transcendental paraphernalia. So in the material world, when we rebel against the will of the Supreme Lord, we are sent here to the material world from the spiritual world. Okay? The Lord remains there in the spiritual world, enjoying with his pure devotees. But at times he incarnates. He comes to this material world. He himself comes, or he sends his representative. That's called avatara. What for? To give pleasure to his devotees and to liberate the conditioned souls, those who are practicing, those who are willing to come back to the original home. So Lord also helps the conditioned souls to go back to him. So that arrangement he is doing. How he is doing? He has given us Vedas, by which we can practice the devotional activities and go back home, back to Godhead, to our original home. So along with this creation, he has given us the process by which we can go back to our original home. So the chief engineer of a complicated construction does not personally take part in the construction itself, but it is he only who knows every nook and corner of the construction, because everything is carried out under his direction only. So here an example is given about the chief engineer who is constructing a building, and he knows everything about the building, every nook and corner. All others are working under him. Similarly, the whole material world is created by Lord Brahma under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He is not directly involved in that creation. Okay, he gives the necessary ingredients to build, to construct, or to manufacture, or to create this material world. Under his guidance, with his ingredients, Lord Brahma creates this material world. That's why it is called Visarga, secondary creation. The Sarga, the primary creation, is done by the Supreme Lord. So he knows each and everything. Better than Brahma. Although Brahma is giving form to all the living entities according to our karma and desire, but Lord Vishnu or Krishna, who is the chief engineer of this cosmic manifestation, he knows each and every nook and corner of his creation. So in other words, he knows everything about the construction, directly and indirectly. So either directly or indirectly, he knows everything about the creation. It is his baby. He is the supervisor. Similarly, the personality of God, who is the supreme engineer of this cosmic creation, knows very well what's happening in every nook and corner of the cosmic creation, although activities appear to be performed by someone else. Okay. Just like in India, there is a prime minister. Under him, there are so many chief ministers for each and every state. Okay, the chief minister is responsible for all the activities in that particular state, but under whose guidance? Under the guidance of the prime minister. So prime minister is informed directly or indirectly. He is being informed by the respective chief ministers of the different various states. Similarly, the Supreme Lord knows what's happening in each and every nook and corner of his creation, directly or indirectly. That's what it is meant here. So, whatever is created, sorry. In actuality, from Brahma down to the insignificant ant, no one is independent in the material creation. The hand of the Supreme Lord is everywhere. So it's very clearly mentioned that no one is independent. Everyone is under the supervision of the Supreme Lord, because he as Paramatma is existing every atom of this creation. All material elements as well as all spiritual parts are but emanations from him only. Okay. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke, in this material world, okay, my parts and parcel are there. Lord Krishna is telling. And they are eternal. Whatever is created in this material world is a result of the interaction of the two energies, material and spiritual, which emanate from the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna Vasudeva. So can anyone explain what exactly is meant by this? Whatever is created in this material world is a result of the interaction of these two energies, material and spiritual. Can anyone explain what exactly is meant by this? What is the meaning of that? Whatever is created in this material is a result of the interaction of these two energies, material and spiritual. How you can define this? How you can explain this? Anyone? Mayuri Mataji? Any idea?
No.
Prabhuji, is it like our body and soul? It's a
Yes.
combination of material and spiritual.
Yes, exactly, Prabhuji. The soul is spiritual, but apart from the soul, everything is material. Jada. Okay. It's the interaction of two energies. So the soul alone is spiritual. Rest everything is jada, material. So the body is made up of jada, material. Mind, intelligence, false ego, it's material. Only the Atma is spiritual. So that's why it said it is a combination of two energies, material and spiritual, which emanate. And both material and spiritual energy comes from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. Even the material energy is also coming from Supreme Lord only. Isn't it? So any other questions or any comments from these two para? Any comments or any questions?
So Prabhuji, like the material world is the direct reflection of the spiritual world, as you told. Like,
Yeah.
So, but in the spiritual world, there is no, I mean, that way crime or something, I mean, like, but that is there in the spiritual, I mean, material world. So, I mean, is it like a reflection, proper reflection, or I mean, it is also like, it's not a.
No, what I didn't get your question. What is in the spiritual world?
Because in the spiritual world, there is no crime or there is no like, ego, like those kind of things.
Okay, yeah. So that's why it is said that perverted reflection. Okay, so when it is perverted, when it comes in perversion, it is not real. For example, in the spiritual world, there is love. That love is unconditional. Okay, but when it comes to material world, that love becomes lust. See the difference?
Correct.
That same love that is exhibited in the spiritual world, when it comes as a perverted reflection in the material world, it becomes lust. So what's the difference between love and lust? Love is unconditional. So if a lover is there and beloved is there, the lover loves that beloved unconditionally. There's no condition attached to that. What is an unconditional love? Means just for the pleasure of the beloved, the lover wants to do anything and everything, even at the cost of his own inconvenience, hardships, and even his life. That's true love. Not that, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. It's not, it's not a deal. It's not a business. That's why it is said unconditional. So that's pure love. The love of the gopis is pure. Okay, when Narada Maharshi went and asked the dust from the feet of the gopis so that Krishna can cure the headache, okay, then ladies were ready to immediately give. Why? That is pure love. They never thought. Narada said, you will go to hell for this action of yours, that you are giving your dust to Krishna to apply on his forehead. You're all going to go to hell for millions and millions of births. What did they say? No problem. Even if we have to stay in the hell for millions and millions of years, we are ready if the headache of Krishna can be cured. Sorry. So that's pure love. If, at the same time, Narada approached others, the Brahmins, the kings, and many other people, they did not give. They hesitated. Why? They were afraid of going to hell for that action. So that's pure love. Okay. Here in the material world, the same love becomes lust. When I get some satisfaction from the other party, I love him. If I don't get it anymore, there is no more love. So that's called lust, sense gratification. So is it clear, Prabhuji? That's why it is called perverted reflection.
Correct. Got it.
Even when we see ourselves in the mirror, do we see us as it is? The left side will be right side, the right side will be left side. Isn't it?
Correct.
So like that.
Thank you.
Any other points? Okay, we'll go ahead. A living entity known as a chemist can manufacture water in the laboratory by mixing hydrogen and oxygen. But in reality, the living entity works under the direction of the Supreme Lord, and all the material he uses are supplied by the Lord. Now, the people may, say, see, we are making water in the laboratory, we are making tall buildings, we are making rockets, we are making spaceship, we are making this, we are making that. Okay, how they can claim this, that they are the creator of this? Can they claim that they are the creator? No. Why? From where they are getting the ingredients? From the nature. And who is the owner of the nature? Supreme Lord. So the Bhumi, Rapo, Nala, Vayu, earth, water, fire, air, ether, everything is given by the Supreme Lord. They are just, manipulating these ingredients and making different things. That's all. So without taking the material from this nature, we cannot make anything. We don't have anything of our own. And even the skills with which we are making it is given by the Supreme Lord. The ability in the man is what? Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the ability in man is me. Balam balavata chaham, isn't it? Okay. I am the strength of the man. Anytime he can take this strength, isn't it? That the Lord knows everything directly and indirectly in minute detail, and he is fully independent as well. So if somebody says that I am independent, I don't depend on anybody, can we believe? No, we are interdependent on many things. Our very life is sustained because of, other living entities. If no other living entities are on this planet, only human being, how can we sustain? If there are no worms on earth, how can we sustain? No trees and plants, how can we sustain? So we're all interdependent. Okay. Thus the Lord knows everything directly and indirectly in minute detail and is fully independent as well. But Lord is independent. Okay. He says in the first shloka of first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, what he says? Swarat. He is independent. He is not dependent on anything else. He is Atmaram. He can be compared to a gold mine, and the objects within the cosmic creation can be compared to ornaments made from that gold, such as gold rings, gold necklace, and so on. So Lord Krishna can be compared to a gold mine, and the ornaments can be compared to the living entities. But the gold ring and necklace are qualitatively one with the gold in the mine, but quantitatively the gold in the mine and the gold in the ring or necklace are different. Can anybody explain this sentence? The gold ring and necklace are qualitatively one with the gold in the mine, but quantitatively the gold in the mine and the gold in the ring or necklace are different. How do you explain this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, yes.
In this meaning, that I am understanding that by the body we are different, but by the soul we all are same, and the God is everywhere. God is same. We are only by the body we are different.
Not exactly. Yeah, some are right, but not the exact explanation.
Sorry.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Yeah, yes, Mataji.
जैसे भगवत गीता में कहा गया पुरुष और प्रकृति, तो प्रकृति के द्वारा ये सब होता है, जिसमें भगवान भी मतलब परोक्ष रूप से उसमें भी उपस्थित रहते हैं, बट डायरेक्टली नहीं।
No, here Prabhupada is, or Rupa Goswami, not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining our philosophy, Achintya Veda Abheda Tattva. Okay, Achintya qualitatively one, but quantitatively different. This Tattva, this philosophy is being explained here. Now, the complete philosophy for here, it is, that's why the gold mine and the gold ornaments are given an example. The gold mine is how much? It's vast, it's big. And the gold particle, such as the ring or necklace or, any other ornaments made from that is minute. Okay. So the Lord is Vibhu, great. We are Anu. So the same quality of God we have. He is Satchidananda. We being his part and parcel as Anu, we are also Satchidananda. Quality is same. As we always explain, the water, the drop of water in an ocean, okay, if you take the properties of that, and if you check the whole ocean's property also, it's the same composition. But the one drop is one drop in quantity, but the ocean, we can't even fathom how big it is. So in quality, it is same. The drop and the whole ocean, the quality is same. Similarly, we, the spiritual spark of that Supreme Lord, the living entities, have the same quality, that is Satchidananda, the Atma. Okay, but in quantity we lack. We are not equal to Supreme Lord. Are we equal to Supreme Lord
No.
in quantity?
No, Prabhu.
So that's the difference. So Achintya, Veda, Abheda Tattva. We have Veda. What is Veda? In quantity, we are not equal to Supreme Lord. Okay, for example, in quantity means our knowledge, our opulence, our beauty, our fame, our renunciation, our skills. It is very, very minute. Very, very minute. Whereas the Supreme Lords, everything is full. That's why it's called absolute. So it is Achintya. Achintya means inconceivable. With our limited senses, we cannot conceive that. Bheda, there is Bheda. What is Bheda? In quantity. If we are a drop, he is the ocean. That's why he said, he is Vibhu, we are Anu. He is infinite, we are infinitesimal. Okay. Abheda, so Bheda, that is Bheda. Abheda, what is Abheda? He is also Satchidananda, and we as a soul also Satchidananda. There is no difference. Tattva is philosophy. So this is Achintya, Bheda, Abheda Tattva. In quantity, we lack. We are not same, or we are not equal to Supreme Lord in quantity, but in quality, we are equal in, as a Supreme Lord. Just like the spark, the particle of the gold in the gold mine, or the gold's quality in the ring or the necklace is that of the same that is in the gold mine. So is it clear?
Clear, Prabhuji.
Good.
Yeah, Prabhuji, one question is like Achinta Veda Abheda. That
Yeah.
is spiritually Achinta Veda Abheda, but not in the our ego, like our hatred, or like our, these things are not, those are different, like those are material
Yeah.
quantities, but
So-
spiritually Achinta Veda Abheda.
Anything apart from our soul, okay, that is changeable. And as far as the Lord is concerned, he has no material form, he has no material attributes, nothing of that sort. So here the comparison is about only the soul, the Atma, the self, not the matter. Okay, so we are not this body, we are the soul, and soul is Satchidananda. We are minute, very, very minute. Okay, finite is infinite. So this is only about the spirit, not the matter. He is not coming under that matter at all. Although he has material energy, but he is Divya, transcendental. He is Divya. Okay. Janma, karma cha me divyam. Okay. His janma, his karma, everything is divyam, transcendental. It's not material. But in the material world, we have these two aspects, material and spiritual. Spirit is the soul, and we are covered with matter. But as far as the Lord is concerned, he is totally Satchidananda. There is no material body for him. There is no subtle body for him. Everything is spiritual as far as he is concerned. Is it clear, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Correct.
Prabhuji, what is the exact meaning of Divya? How we explain the
Divya
word
means
is
transcendental, that which is above the three modes of material nature. Guna Atit.
Shuddha Sattvic?
Yes, so the Sattvic.
Means everything is Divya.
Everything is
Of
transcendental.
Supreme.
Transcendental means above the three modes. In this material world, within the three modes, that's called material. Even in mode of goodness, it's material. That's three guna, sattva, rajas, and tamo. These are all material within the three modes of material nature. But above that is transcendental divya. Okay, that is above the three modes of material nature, as you rightly said, Shuddha Sattvic stage.
Prabhuji, this stage is above the 4 planets? Or
Not for planets. It is
in
even in this material world, you know, the living entities can be in the mode of pure goodness. Even in this material world, pure devotees are not within these three modes of material nature. So they can still, with a so-called material body, still they can remain, but they are beyond, because they come for a purpose to help us. Although they are in the material body, so-called material body, you know, they are transcendental. They come here, they are sent by the Supreme Lord to elevate certain conditioned souls. So it's not necessary that all the transcendental personalities are only in the spiritual world. Lord Krishna himself comes. So as far as we are concerned, he has a material body, but he doesn't, his body is not material, it's spiritual. For our eyes, we cannot see the spiritual body. You know, that's why he comes with a so-called material body, but it is transcendental. You know, even so somebody throw arrow at him, blood comes. But it really, is it happening? It's happening just to show us, just to make us understand. Otherwise, his body is transcendental only. So when he comes in the material world, that's why he says, you know, avajanandi mamuda manushim tanumashridam. When I come, when I descend in the human form of life, people deride me as an ordinary person. That's why Arjuna is glorifying Supreme Lord in Bhagavad Gita. Aham nadis. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashwadam Divyam, Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. Shashwadam Divyam, eternal and is transcendental. Although he comes as a human, you know, he has all these qualities. His Param Brahma, his abode is Param Dhama, Pavitram is pure, Bhavan, he is a person, Purusham, Shashwatam, Divyam, Adi Devam, the first, Ajam, unborn, Vibhum, great. So all these attributes he is giving to Lord Krishna. So one should not mistake that he is, you know, a person like us with, you know, blood and urine and stool and pus and everything. We should not mistake him to be like us.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. So any other questions? We'll read one more passage. Conditioned souls from Brahma, the engineer of this particular universe, down to an insignificant ant, are all creating something, but none of them are independent of the Supreme Lord. So here it said that conditioned souls from Brahma to even to the law, the lowest insignificant ant, they are creating something, isn't it? You know, we make big buildings, we make weapons, we make rocket, we make spaceships, we make so many factories, isn't it? But the other living entities like animals or birds and reptiles, they also make, they also create. If you see the nest that is made by the birds, so beautiful, so nice, isn't it? They also create. Just see the spider, how nicely the spider is making web. So perfect engineering it is. If you just see that, how they are making, will be really wonderstruck. You know, from its own mouth, from the saliva, you know, that spider is making the web very nicely. You know, even a chief engineer cannot make with such precision. Isn't it, Vivek Prabhu?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think the ladies will not be happy with the
What is
spider
that?
web.
What is that?
I think the ladies are not happy with the spider web.
Well, see the creation that they're doing. So each and every one of us are creating something or the other. That's why
Yeah.
we are also called Ishvara. Ishvara means controller, but we are mini Ishvaras. We are mini Ishvaras. We may control a family, we may control a society, we may control a country, or we may control a department in some offices, but we are not Parama Ishvara. We have this ability because the Lord has this ability. Okay? The Lord has his ability, this ability. So we also have a certain portion of that ability because we being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord.
Like Prabhuji, similar to this spider web, the weaver birds and many other creatures, they, whatever they make, their nest and everything, like birds, some of the birds,
Yeah.
it's very, very good and difficult for any architect to even with that precision.
Yeah, right, Prabhuji. And from where they are getting all the ingredients? Again,
Nature, organic.
the Lord has given.
Yeah.
So that's why they are called, that's why here it is said they are all dependent. They are not independent. So we think that we are, advanced. Human beings are very advanced. If you scrutinizingly see the different creatures, how they are making so many different things according to their ability, you can't even really fathom that because so nicely they are making. Especially when you see the birds making the nest, very nicely, so nicely they are making, and they're also very intelligent. Also, when the enemy comes, how they can protect themselves. They're also having the idea. They're also getting this intelligence from whom? From the Supreme Lord only. So it's not that only human beings are smart or intelligent. They're also intelligent, to whatever extent is required. They're also intelligent. They also defend. They also defend when enemy comes. We also defend. So everything, every living entity, to some extent, they're all creating something. But only thing is the difference is that Lord is independent and all other living entities are dependent of the Supreme Lord. So the materialistic wrongly thinks that there is no creator but his own good self. And this misconception is called Maya or illusion. So our thinking that we are independent, there is nobody to supervise, nobody to control, is an illusion. So that means we are in Maya. Due to his poor fund of knowledge, the materialistic cannot see beyond the purview of his imperfect senses. Thus, he thinks that matter automatically takes its own shape independent of a conscious background. So, without a conscious creator, nothing can exist in this material world. Behind every creation, there is a creator, isn't it? It will not, the Big Bang theory, just because of the Big Bang, everything comes. If that is right, when some explosion comes, a new building should come up, isn't it? But when explosion comes, the building is
Yeah,
destroyed.
correct.
Okay, explosion means destruction
I
only.
think they don't have that much imagination. So somehow, some theories they are, developing.
Yeah. So all this material, Big Bang theory and the Darwin theory and all, just imaginary only. It is all speculative. Even Darwin himself has agreed that he has speculated and he has cheated also. Anyway, unfortunately, these are being taught in our schools also still. So due to his poor fund of knowledge, the materialistic cannot see beyond the purview of his imperfect senses. Thus, he thinks that matter automatically takes its own shape, independent of a conscious background. So for every creation, there is a creator. Nothing comes automatically. Okay. There is a reason behind everything. This is refuted by Srila Vyasadeva in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Janmadi, as stated before, Vyasadeva is a liberated soul and he compiled his book of authority after attaining spiritual perfection. So Janma Adi Asya, when everything is emanated, created, by whom? By Krishna. Why? Because first is, what is saying? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He is paying his obeisances to Vasudeva, who is Krishna, who is sons of Vasudeva. Okay. From him, everything is emanating, everything is being created. Janma Adi. Janma means to give, to create. So he refutes that everything comes on its own or automatically. He refutes that. Why? As Mayuri Mataji rightly said, liberated person. Vyasadeva is liberated. So what is the meaning of liberated person here? What is the meaning of liberated? Are we liberated?
He is beyond three modes of beyond Sattva.
Are we liberated or are we conditioned?
We are conditioned, Prabhuji.
We are conditioned. Vyasadeva is liberated. What does it mean?
Beyond three modes of material nature.
Prabhuji?
He is beyond three modes of material nature. Sattva, Rajas, Tama.
Yeah, we are within the clutches of the three modes of material nature, Sattva, Rajas, Tama. Okay, Vyasadeva is above, is transcendental. Although he is in the material world, he is a Nitya Mukta. We are Nitya Baddha, eternally conditioned. He is eternally liberated. He has come here. He is the incarnation of Supreme Lord himself. He has come here on a mission, or he has been deputed on a mission to this material world to help people like us, conditioned souls, to get liberated from this material world and go back home, back to Godhead. So that's the difference. So liberated people can also be here in this material world. They are in this material world, but they are not of this material world. We are in this material world and we are of this material world also, because our activities are such. But liberated souls, although they are in the material world, they are not of this material world. That's the difference. So as stated before, Vyasadeva is a liberated soul and he compiled this book of authority after attaining spiritual perfection. So in his spiritual maturity, he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. In the Bhagavatam itself, the glories of Bhagavatam is given. Nimna Ganam Yada Ganga, Devanam Achyuto Yatha, Vaishnavanam Yatha Chambo, Purananam Idam Tata. So of all the Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost. Why? Because it has crossed the three modes of material nature. It is in the pure mode of goodness. So why? Because he has compiled this Srimad Bhagavatam in his spiritual maturity.
Hare Krishna,
So,
Prabhuji.
yes, Madaji.
So it means all Puranas are in the mode of gunas.
There are actually 18 Puranas.
18 Puranas, yes.
Yeah. So 6 for the people in the mode of what you call ignorance, 6 for the people in the mode of passion, and 6 for the people in the mode of goodness. But this particular Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, is in the mode of pure goodness. All others are within the three modes of material nature. So this is, those who are in the mode of ignorance and mode of passion, they go according to the respective Puranas of that particular mode. And slowly and gradually, they'll come from ignorance to passion to goodness, and from goodness to pure mode of goodness. They will transcend. So when we transcend the three modes, we'll also be liberated. So in one sense, everything that exists is the body of the absolute truth. Any action or reaction of a part of a body becomes a cognizable fact to the embodied soul. Similarly, since the creation is the body of the absolute truth, since the creation is the body of the absolute truth, then everything is the creation, in the creation is known to the absolute both directly and indirectly. So in this material world, whatever is created, okay, whatever is happening in any corner of this material world, directly or indirectly, the Lord knows, because He is omniscient. He knows everything because He is dwelling as Paramatma in each and every atom of His creation. So that's why Lord is absolute, Purnam. So we'll stop here. So any comments or any questions? So please, my Mataji, please make a note of this in the Shruti mantra.
Yes, Prabhuji, I make.
I'll stop here sharing. So any comments or any questions? So somebody wants to share something?
So Prabhuji, one question is that like a very basic question, like all means everything in the material world created from the external energy of God. He knows everything,
Yeah.
like Krishna. Okay. So now the question is that like one animal is killing and eating another animal.
Yeah.
I mean, why this? I mean, why this has been done? I mean, because that guy, I mean, that animal is suffering more when somebody is eating. So like, why it has been created? I mean, why? I mean, is there any explanation?
Yeah. Now in the Vedas, it is said that Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. One living entity subsists on another living entity for food, survival. It is the law of the land. Okay. Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. Even we are also living on another living being. This is a cycle. And till we come to the platform of human being, or to the species of human being, they don't have freedom, no karmic reaction. It is through the set path of the laws of nature they are living. They will not deviate any, from the laws of nature, not even an inch. Only the human beings have freedom, because of which we have karma. Okay, whatever we do, we are responsible and accountable. We get reaction. If a lion kills an animal and eat, it is not getting any reaction for that. There is no reaction. That is his food. And slowly and gradually, as that animal, lion, progresses in the ladder of evolution, it comes to human being. When he gets the human being body, then that living entity has freedom. So why he has freedom? That's why in the Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra, it is said, Athato Brahma Jitnyasa. Okay. Now let me inquire about the supreme absolute truth. Only in human form of life, we have this ability or this Viveka Buddhi or this reasoning power to read, write, and ask, questions which the animals or any other species doesn't have. So freedom is only for human being. That's why the reactions only for human being. So everyone has to survive. The cycle, the evolution is made in such a way, one living entity becomes food to other living entity. So they have to, and there is no reaction for them except for human being, because we have knowledge, we have the higher intelligence, we can discriminate good, bad, and everything. And we are supposed to choose what we are supposed to do. But now we deviate from the principle that is given in the Vedas, and we go whimsically, then we are liable. Slowly and gradually, when we deviate from the principles of dharma, we'll go down to the lower species. So this is a cycle. So I am human being now. If I don't follow the rules of the Vedas or rules of the God, I will get degraded, demoted to lower species. I'll become an animal or a plant or a bird or aquatic. And slowly, gradually, according to the set path, I will again evolve and come to the platform of human being after millions and billions of birth. So this is a cycle. So everyone has to survive. So the food for one living entity is the other living entity. So this is how the evolution takes place. So except for human being, no one has karma bala. Why? Only human being has karma bala because he has the intelligence, higher intelligence, and discriminatory. See the things. We are human being. We are higher conscious being, and we are not supposed to kill and eat any other living entities who have more higher consciousness. But what we are doing? We are doing the same thing. We are supposed, our food is vegetable who has lesser consciousness. That's our food. But we eat anything and everything. So we are deviating from the laws of the material nature or the codes of the Supreme Lord. That's why we are punished, again sent to lower planets, lower species. So that's the reason. Is it clear, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Any other?
So Prabhuji, in the same context, like we have this karma reactions, good or bad. So even let's say lion is eating certain deers, so he will undergo intense pain when lion is killing to that deer, and some deer entire life none of the lion or tiger killed to certain deers. So is it like it is also because of something like that deer has to undergo more pain?
It has to undergo that pain in that body because that deer was a human being sometime. Okay. That deer was in the form of a human being when he had the intelligence to discriminate, but he did not do that. So he had to come back to this form to suffer for his action. So it's a cycle. So I have gone through, I was a cat, I was a dog, I was a hog, I was a lion, I was a tree, I have come through all these and got this human body. Now it is my duty to see that I don't deviate from the laws of the material nature. Just like in your office, there are certain rules and regulations set for the employees, right? If you deviate from the rules and regulation, what will happen? You'll be fired, right? Or you'll be punished.
Violation.
Yeah. Similarly, here when we are in the human body,
correct.
And just simple example in the traffic law. Okay, what we are supposed to do when the red signal comes, we are supposed to stop. If you just pass through the red signal, what will happen? We'll be punished, we'll be put in jail, we'll be fined. At the same time, a dog passes through the signal or a cow passes through the signal. Will the police catch the dog and put in the jail?
No.
Okay. At the same time, if an aeroplane passes the red signal, which is there on the ground, are they violating? No, they are not violating because the rule of the road doesn't apply for the planes.
Yeah, correct.
Isn't it?
Clear.
So rules are meant for human beings, not for dogs and animals and others. So we were in that body, now we got the human body. Now if you deviate from this principle, again we'll become deer or we become lion or snake or bird or anything. Then we have to get punished for the action that we have done in this human form. So do not misuse this human form. If you misuse this human form, there are every chances that we will die down to lower species and suffer by being, eaten by other animals. Attack, they
Clear.
will attack. Sometimes we will attack, sometimes they will attack. So,
Yeah.
no. So pain is there always. This is the reaction that we have done. This is the reason, this is the reaction for the activities that we have done when we are in the human form. So that's why we are discussing this Bhagavad Gita. We can never expect the animals to discuss Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, correct.
That's a set path. They will not deviate. You just take the example of elephant. It will not kill any animal and eat. It will eat only the grass or, trees, barks or whatever it is. So only human beings deviates from the laws of material nature. Is it clear?
Clear, Prabhu.
Any other questions?
No,
So
Prabhu.
today,
Prabhu, Vivek Prabhu.
yes, Mataji, please you continue.
What is that?
Mataji was asking some question. I interrupted, so you can continue. I will ask the next question. You can please continue.
No, Prabhuji. I told him, thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji, today is Ratha Yatra, so I thought that today you will be in Ratha Yatra. Is that right?
I was watching the Puri Rath Yatra since morning.